Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. It is a bit of a mess in here. Imagine that. I mean, I feel like I've said that. Well, I have said it hundreds of times. Let's be honest. I'm a Look at this. Look at this. There's like there's stuff everywhere. And it's a problem. And I know that. I need to just spend time down here fixing the problem, and that would help me kind of get everything else in line. It's funny because like a lot of my other life things, a lot of my other spaces are well kept, and everything is put away to some degree, and I clean and that sort of stuff. But this space, for some reason, I let it get out of control. Regardless, that's not what I wanted to talk to you about today. What I wanted to talk to you about today was this weekend I was working on a sign, and I got a sign order from a customer for like a 6-foot long sign. Remember like a couple of years ago, I started 3D printing letter templates like this. Wow, you can't see anything. That's awesome. Let's hold this black thing up to my black shirt. Letter templates. I'll try and show them on screen. Where you could clip these things together. They're like little puzzle pieces, and then my router would follow the puzzle pieces and cut signs. And I thought that'd be fun to make kind of some quote-unquote handmade signs. And part of the reason I did this was because I own a 3D printer, but I can't afford a CNC machine. And so I thought I could make signs kind of in a handmade fashion with this, and that maybe I could sell them. And so I did that. I made some. I tried to sell them. I think I sold a single sign, maybe two. That was it. And I have made other signs, though, for friends who've said, can you make me a sign for this? Can you make me a sign for that? But I've never sold them. I've just made them. So one sign I made was for a store, a friend's store. And that store has since moved to a new location. In this new location, there's this cool place outside to kind of hang a big sign. And so I was asked to make like a 6-foot long sign to fill that space. And I said, sure, I can do that. And so I came down here and I just did it. It's not done. It's still in clamps. I need to take because it's 6 feet long, and because I made it out of just these pieces of pallet wood that aren't 6 foot long, I had to do a splice. So I decided to kind of glue it to a backer of plywood, and then I'm going to build a frame around that. So I still need to cut it, rip it, and then put the frame around it, and then it's done. And it's a rustic sign anyway, so it'll be fine. And I used polyurethane construction adhesive to hold it together so it can move and stuff. It'll be fine. But the point is, I just did it. Like Friday and Saturday, let's do this. And I got a sign, and I made a sign. And there was no hang up. There was no like, how do I do this? There was no hemming and hawing. There was no like feeling inadequate or feeling like I was going to screw this thing up. And I don't understand why that is. You know, the box that I made for Roland that I showed last week took me like 6 months from the time I started working on that project to finish it. Because every time I started to look at it, it went wrong. And then when it went wrong, I would get overwhelmed by how wrong it went. I would get sad. I would get upset. I would get it wasn't good. And because of that, I was held back a lot. And I've talked so many times, like, how do I get over my perfectionism? How do I get over that feeling of I'm not good enough? I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. When in reality, at the end of the day, she got this box and she loves it and it's beautiful and everybody who's seen it says it's amazing. Why did it take me 6 months? Why couldn't I get over that hump? Whereas this sign, it just happened and there was no holdback. And I don't know if it's because, one, I have done it before, like this really is just cutting out letters and then making a face frame and that's it, or if it's because it is rustic and it doesn't need to be perfect, or I don't know what it is. I don't know what the holdup is. I'm trying to kind of dial that in, figure that out. But yeah, that's why the shop is a disaster again. And while doing this, I had my friend at work 3D print me a couple of a new template for the ampersand symbol. But when I did this, I messed up the template. I didn't make the ampersand overlap. And I also, this is too small for my router bushing, won't fit through all of this. So I ended up having to hand chisel a bunch of it. And I used these chisels that I bought on Amazon like, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And I'd never opened this box and never used them. And I used the 2 U-gouges that are in here, and both of them, the tips broke off. So I guess if you're going to go to Amazon and you're going to buy a set of chisels, avoid this Shanghain cutting tool factory, because they're garbage. That's it. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow. The word of the day today is afflatus. It's a noun meaning inspiration that seems to come from divine origin. The Nobel Prize-winning novelist attributed her abilities to afflatus rather than her own abilities. Afflatus. A-F-F-L-A-T-U-S.